Okay. This is the Snowmotractor. I built this in February of 2022. It took 2 weeks. It was a big old jam session. Just make it go. Prove some concepts, test some parts, mainly the transmission, but just see if a snowmobile engine and skis and paddle tires can move a garden tractor. We did that. Then I started playing with stuff, trying to make it faster. I did that, but I proved to myself that these snowmobile engines have zero torque to speak of. I don't know what that actual measurement is, but it's enough that when this is shifted into second gear, this stalls out before it actually gains momentum. Unless I got the happy pedal all the way wide open. It probably isn't very great to just do wide open launches all the time, even though it's a lot of fun. I can get the front end about this high off the ground on grass by winding it all the way up, dumping the clutch. And then I proved to myself it doesn't disengage the clutch very well. So I need to work on that. But I think what I really need to do is make the whole snowmobile primary, secondary clutch system work again. Let me show you. So currently you see that this primary clutch is just closed. For anybody who knows much about snowmobiles, knows that the secondary clutch is normally closed like this and the primary is open. And then what that does is it starts with a very small drive pulley and a very big driven pulley. And it gets the low end torque that the engine doesn't really have. And it transmits that into high RPMs and gets the things moving. And then as it's moving, this is clamping on the belt, which makes this open up, which makes the gear ratio change drastically. This I modified a whole bunch to just stay closed and become a really big pulley more than a clutch. And then I used the wheel horse clutch arm as an actual clutch. It just didn't work great at all. So now we have the steering shaft coming from up top where the handlebars are, all the way down through the middle of the chassis, all the way down to here, which you can't see because of this. But trust me, it's there. I've kind of marked that here on the side of the chassis, just with some marker. Right there. Now, generally the way that this Polaris clutch setup is that the primary and secondary are 12 inches apart. I'm going to have to measure that and see if 12 inches is going to interfere. I have a feeling it will. That's kind of why I didn't do this in the first place. But it's time to make something work. Even if it turns into finding a longer snowmobile belt. And then obviously I'm going to just change this belt altogether. Now, once I figure out how to mount the secondary pulley or clutch, and once I figure out a belt that actually drives it, then I'll figure out a secondary drive system from this driven shaft to, it actually goes this way. I'll find a belt or a chain or something that goes from here back to the transmission. So I've got a straight edge here, and I know that your angle is not the best, but what I'm going to end up doing is just kind of eyeballing an arc here and see if there's any spot where it does not interfere with that steering. Right off the bat, I don't see how that's going to be possible with a stock size belt, but we can figure that out later. I might end up figuring out how much slop there should be on another snowmobile, and then finding a longer belt and going with some math and figuring out where, or maybe a shorter, but probably longer, where I can go through this chassis. Now this chassis is about an 1/8 inch thick, so it won't be a big deal to drill through one side to the other side and have pillow blocks for that shaft to run true and smooth is the plan. Whoa. No one ever said it can't be up here. I could run pillow blocks off the top of that frame plate, and then maybe even a jack shaft. Yeah, maybe not into that hole, but a jack shaft down low enough to get back to that transmission pulley back there. Or I might even be able to go from here to there, who knows?